MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
If you hadn't gotten the memo by now, your weekend is over.
It is over, just like that.
And now you're at work and you've got 8 hours to go if you're watching from work. If you're retired, welcome. You're living the good life. Mm-hmm. There are some folks that have that. I hear it's wonderful.
Yeah. We camped this weekend. I'm sure there was good many retired people out there because there were people still like pulling in yesterday. Setting up yesterday, so I feel like they're probably retired. I don't know, though. People stay out there during the week.
I heard you rode a bike and it took 4 people to get you off of it after you got on it.
I did ride a bike, but the starting out of me riding a bike looks like I've never ridden a bike in my life.
You know those leg muscles there on your thighs? I bet if I rode one a mile, I would hurt for a week.
It's not my legs that hurt. It's my behind. Sitting on that seat, it's like sitting on a rock.
I so want.
It's soft, the seat is, but after a little while, it gets uncomfortable.
Do you know how hard it is not to go in depth and joke about that?
I know. I'm sure.
It's everything within me not to really give you a hard time about that.
Just don't even go there.
Little seat, big.
I know. Look.
Oh, have mercy! But they have never made a bicycle seat that I think is comfortable. Hadn't rode one since I was about 13. Don't plan on it now.
Yeah, I don't see how these, I guess you call them cyclists, just constantly ride bikes all the time.
I tell you, they got bicycles now that cost as much as cars do that are light, easy, but...
I told Kurt, I said, I need some of those padded pants that they wear when they're bicycling. They do. They wear those padded pants.
You know, some people even go to the doctors have that permanently put in.
Yeah.
Just saying there.
And then there's those people like us that God just gives it to them. Goodness.
Let's see, over the weekend, my wife forced me to go, as we're building the studio, she made me go drill the holes for the electricity that's going through the ceiling. So being the man I am, I got my drill, which is my 3/4, and somehow or another, I got it hung up in the drill bit, and it cut the cord.
Oh, goodness.
So then I had to resort to just a regular drill. And let me tell you, when you're hanging on with one arm on top of a ladder, and I like to broke my arm because the paddle bit got hung and it twisted my arm.
Oh, gosh.
It was close. So use the tool that is intended to do it. Don't go to one that's not strong enough for it. But I'm telling you, that was close.
That's scary.
Of course, I wimped around for the next hour and used every ounce of that as I could to whine and moan. Never let an experience like that go unwasted when you can whine. Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? We do hope fine as we get into a Monday morning. Right now into the 40s. We're going to get 83 before it's done. A warm day. Now, with that being said, tomorrow, and we're going to tell you about that in a second, about the weather of what's coming. I brought this up if you were watching earlier this morning. Let's talk about a little bit of crime over the weekend, what went on in our area. And we did have some. If you're traveling down Highway 19, before you get to Walmart in that area there, before you get to Nick and Al's, there's a gas station called the Citco that sits on the right if you're going north. Gunfire erupted there this weekend, Saturday night, and the store was hit. Now, no one was hurt, but still we have a building that was hit by gunfire. And it would continue. Let me just read you a few places. Now, I think there was another place that may have been, that got a hole or two, but we have no one injured from the weekend. That's the only bright spot that I can tell you out of this. But we had shots reported on 53rd Valley, also 29th and 14th Street, 35th and 20th Street, 41st and 19th. And then the 500 block, actually it was the 5200 block of 33rd. That's off of Highway 493 back in a subdivision. And then it Sunday, last night, 35th Place and 40th and Paulding. A few of the areas that saw gunfire, and that's only Saturday night and a little bit of yesterday afternoon. Yeah. They've what do you call it? Stacked up on ammo. They're back at it again.
I wonder where they're getting it.
Never know.
Makes you wonder.
But that's what kind of went on. We had some wrecks over the weekend also. Highway 19 yesterday afternoon, we saw a wreck.
We came by as that had, I guess it had happened a little while before that.
And this was one of the cars that was involved in that. Now, I wasn't there, but the guy that was driving said he thought it was a blowout that caused it.
Goodness. Was anybody injured?
They went to the hospital for evaluation.
I don't see it. Yeah, it looked pretty kind of rough over there.
At least a couple kids were in the car. They weren't hurt, but they went to be checked out. So that happened. Yeah. Also, as we were talking of people, and you read about this, and I brought this up earlier too, so if you're hearing this for the second time, you hear about this stuff in New York, especially Los Angeles now, to where people just, they get the urge, they go to the bathroom in the middle of the street. Well, you ain't going to do that in Quitman, Mississippi, because they will haul you to jail, and that was the scene as we go to Clark County Hot Topics here, and here's the car that was involved. He thought, I'll just go right here in the middle of the street.
Goodness gracious.
It was a big arrest in Quitman. Flashing
Not only
lights.
do you call attention to yourself for going to the bathroom in the middle of the street, you kind of call attention to yourself about your car.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what all the
painted car.
other charges that will be this. And this wasn't a number 1 offense. This was a number 2 offense in downtown Quitman. Right there in front of the grocery store. Boogie there, boogie there.
Goodness.
An arrest was made. So I thought you might want to know about that also. Tomorrow, we will welcome Emily White to come in to do a song or two for us. And she's won some awards.
She's a very, very good artist. Sings very well, yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. Here's the scene of her and Scott Friday night, downtown Meridian, the moon on 5th, I believe is what they call that.
Full moon on 5th.
Full moon on 5th. There you go. But they put a big moon up and get to come down. And it's great to see so many things happening in the downtown area. It really is.
Yes.
Like that. We have a benefit golf tournament, not golf tournament, but a fishing rodeo that is coming up. And it's going to be this coming weekend.
It's a young family benefit. It's a fruit jar bass tournament, April the 9th. And it's safe light, I guess.
Yeah,
till
daylight.
Yeah, early in the mornings when it's safe to go out, till 12 noon. Collinsville Landing, OTB Lake.
She was wanting to break into that commercial, safe light repair.
Safe right. Yeah. No, that kind of threw me off guard.
Now,
But,
this is for a 3-year-old little boy.
Okay.
And he's sick. He's been diagnosed with leukemia, and they're trying to raise money there. But so if you're a fisherman, it's going to happen this coming weekend.
Yes. Now, the entry fee is going to be $100 per boat, cash up front the morning of, and it's based on 20 boats. First place is going to be $600, second place $300, and third place $100.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so check that out. That's coming this weekend there. Now, we'll have some more events, and if you've got a event coming up, this community event, let us know about it. We'll be glad to share. A lot of Easter egg hunts right around the corner.
Yeah.
It'll be the following weekend, the 16th, that we start having major Easter egg hunts.
Yeah, because that's Easter weekend.
Yeah. Poplar Springs Drive Baptist Church has got a big event coming up also. I thought we'd tell you about that.
It's going to be Thursday, April the 7th, 6:30 p.m. It's Ladies' Night Out, and it's going to be $5 admission, refreshments afterwards. So.
I'm thinking it's worth going for the food. $5. Where else can you eat for $5? Listen to a little bit and eat.
Yeah, and it says the tickets can be purchased from the Women's Ministry Council, the church office, or at the door the night of the event. So they're going to be featuring Rita Sweat.
No word yet if she's going to be sweating to the oldies. Speaking of that, where is Richard? What has happened? Is he sick or has he passed away? Am I behind the time?
I don't know. I don't think he's passed away. I think that would have been a big headline,
But he was big during his day. They're jumping around in his little...
I would imagine he's on up into the years now. I don't think he'd be sweating to the oldies anymore.
He's sweating because I'm old.
Listening to the oldies.
Yeah. Sandy White, how in the world are you? Good to see you watch you there. Nancy Harris joins us.
Deborah McKee, good morning to you. And Scott Chirillo, good morning.
We had some folks watching from the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. We appreciate that. From Choctaw, Mississippi, watching earlier. Appreciate that.
Daphne Childs from Hickory, Mississippi. She's watching. Rita Matera, good morning. That's the one from Choctaw Reservation.
Glad you joined us there. A lot to do this week. Now, coming up, again, I'm going to tell you more about this weather situation. We want everybody on their P's and Q's tomorrow because, bad weather, we don't want you hurt. We'll be here all throughout it. Our timeline is going to be 7 until about 1 tomorrow afternoon. And then if that's not enough, if you didn't get your fill, we got possibly some thunderstorms on to this afternoon, and then not during the daytime, after dark. And then on Wednesday, we got another round of severe weather. So it's 3 chances. This will all start raining late tonight, and we'll tell you about that as I brought up today. We'll tell you and explain all of that. That's up and coming in a few moments. Want everybody safe. So
that's right.
Keep it in mind. We'll tell you more about that also with Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin our day. Glad to have you here.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install, or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings this week. Idaho potatoes, 8-pound bag, $3.99. Red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, 2 for $3. Martha White flour or cornmeal, a 5-pound bag, 2 for $5. Nabisco Oreo cookies, 2 for $7. Jimmy Dean sliced bacon, 12-ounce package, $3.99. And certified Angus beef top sirloin steak family pack, $5.29 a pound.
When we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
No matter what hat you wear, if you're hurt on the job, you're gonna need me. I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. Under workers' comp law, you're entitled to certain benefits. But when you're released from the doctor, someone's got to be there to make sure you get a fair settlement. While you're healing, we'll be fighting for you. We've helped thousands of our injured clients get their medical bills paid and recover lost wages. And we're ready to help do the same for you today. One call, that's all.
Good morning. Excuse me, I'm tongue-tied this morning. Good Monday morning. I hope everybody's having a great day. And Scotty Ray's got a little stuff about the weather I think he's going to mention to us for tomorrow.
Right. Again, with all of this, as we saw severe weather roll through, this is 3 weeks in a row. We want everybody safe. And when I tell you to have a weather plan, what this means is if a warning is issued, no matter where you are, and you don't have your very own tornado shelter to get to a shelter of some sort, plan ahead, know where you're going, because generally now the way warnings are, you have about 30 minutes, so you have time to get to where you're going.
Right.
Last week we were warning you with the way the weather was coming in that it could be instantaneous. If a warning, it could be worse than it was if it was a thunderstorm warning. This week it's back to the kind of normal warnings that we have, but it gives you time to get somewhere safe.
Right.
And we've got several advertisers that help you with getting a shelter if you don't have one. So we'll talk more about that this morning also.
Right, and you can always watch on your cell phone if you if you're out and about. Like I know at the campground, like they have MeTV, so that I know you could be watching us this morning, but you can watch on your cell phone to keep in touch, about what the weather's doing. Anywhere you are by looking on Facebook at Scotty Ray's Weather.
And here's the YouTube account.
That's right,
Sam Media.
Sam Media Network on YouTube. And find Scotty Ray's Weather on there, and he will tell you, exactly what is going on where. So stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about our timeline of what we got. Hey, I want to say happy good morning to David Coates watching this morning. Dave, hope everything's good in your world.
Yes.
As we look at this timeline, here's what the National Weather Service tells us. Here we are, right here. The timeline for us is 7 to 1. Now the National Weather Service is expecting this to take all of this. What I'm seeing right now is going to be western Lauderdale County, the eastern Lauderdale County side, like we saw last week, again, be the worst of what we've got. Anywhere from 7 to 1. Now, as we move this forward, look at the rain we're going to get. Up to 3 inches of rain by this is all said and done. And again, with this locally heavy flooding can be more than this sometimes. Some areas will get more. Now, let's go ahead and just bump on to Wednesday. Look at that. We're at a level 2 on Wednesday. As we look at our Alabama friends, Demopolis, these areas here is a level 3, and then Tuscaloosa too. But we go on to Wednesday, and we see that it's going to be a little bit worse in the Tuscaloosa area than it will be the Meridian area. Not to say that we're not going to get some severe weather, but we just want you to know that on the eastern side of us could be worse. Now, let's take a quick look at radar of just where we are. This morning, look at this. It's just absolutely beautiful everywhere you look. You don't see anything on radar. All right, let's hit this button here and just show you what is coming. This is today. I'll show you how this looks. The rain, this is tonight. We move to day 2, and this is what we've got tomorrow. And this is why I say that eastern Lauderdale County in these areas will see a little bit worse than this. Now, we're still 24 hours out. This can change a little bit, but just like last week, Clark County, these areas here, watch this southeastern corner of Lauderdale County, northern Clark. We want to pay special attention to that. Now, let's go ahead and look at day 3, which will be Wednesday. And this is where I was saying that it would be worse in the Tuscaloosa area. And that's what we've got. We're at a level 2 here. This is Tuscaloosa all the way through Atlanta, all the way up to Asheville, Chattanooga. Y'all will get some weather as well. But close to us, Tuscaloosa will be the folks that see a little bit more severe weather. So
let's hope everything's, not too bad.
Right.
I mean, everybody can stay safe.
Little prayers there. They never hurt anything, do they?
No, they do
No,
not.
they don't. You could.
I can't talk this morning. I don't know what's wrong with me. What is wrong with me,
We're
Scott?
pulling for you there.
Goodness.
Tommy Long watching us from the hospital down at H.C. Watkins. Salute. Hope that's equipment. Hope everything's going good there for you there. Bill Reinhart, good morning.
Yeah, it's Peggy Joyner. Good morning. Teresa Spivey, good morning to you. And Winnie Bartley, good morning.
Now, as we start looking at a few of the headlines across America, we do know that there was horrible things that happened this week in Texas, and then we also saw Sacramento, California shootings this weekend. Needless shootings that should have never happened. But as most do, when they see an opportunity like this, they seize on this and say it's the gun's fault. Joe Biden already trying to enforce new gun laws immediately with this.
Right.
The average American it's not people that are law-abiding citizens that do these things. I never have understood how they don't get it that it's criminals breaking the law.
Well, the criminals always have a way of getting the guns, and the ammunition, as we see every day.
Oh, yeah, they will. We watch this. We'll see what they do. We don't want anybody to. That Second Amendment's very important, and most people agree with that. As we just saw Alabama revoke it to where you don't have to have a concealed permit. That's going to go into effect in January. They just passed that. So all you Alabama folks, after January 1st, the concealed permit is fading away. You can carry your gun however you want to there.
Yeah.
But
the
that's
criminals getting the guns and the ammunition and all this crime going on, shootings all the time. I mean, there needs to be harsher punishment when they do get caught, so they don't just get this little slap on the hand that says, "Okay, go do it again."
right. Now, I had respect for Denzel Washington before I read the article on this. I don't know if you've read this or not. But as we go back to this episode that will not go away from Will Smith, we now find that that we're going to do a movie about his life. It's been put on hold. Netflix and a few others, Apple, have quit bidding on it. It's not to say that they won't come back later and do this and it'd be bigger than ever after all this goes to the side. And this may be a buildup of what they're doing, but he's resigned from the Academy at this point. Will his award be taken away? I doubt it, but they could. They're getting a lot of pressure from people now. As Joe Rogan pointed out, this is going to lead to people getting up from audience and going and attacking comedians as they perform.
Yeah.
Taken away, and they'll have to have security moving forward. There is no way around this. They will.
Right.
But as I brought up Denzel Washington, Denzel is a gentleman and a scholar, a man among men. During all of that, he went to Will Smith during commercial break at the Oscars and prayed with him. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
He I'm telling you, that man is what you see.
Yeah.
And there's not many in Hollywood that you can say that about. But Denzel, during a bad time, stepped forward and showed his faith. I like that. We need more movie stars that do that. Where are they?
Well, I know. And at first, when all this stuff happened, everybody kind of thought it was a joke, or it was planned. And I guess now it's coming to light that absolutely it was not.
Right.
And, I just feel like somebody should have stopped him when they saw him get out of his seat.
But I think, a lot of times you'll see another star as big as he is going to just come up there and joke with him. Maybe that's what they thought.
Yeah,
Chris Rock had to have thought, I have no clue why he's walking up.
Yeah.
And then it went south quickly.
Yeah. But, even after he went and sat back down, now I guess we didn't see everything, but his wife did not seem too disturbed about it.
No, she was seen laughing.
Yeah. I mean, she just didn't seem like that was that big of a deal, or maybe she was kind of for him doing that. I don't know. I hate it happen, though. I really do. Because, I mean, I've always enjoyed watching Will Smith on movies or little sitcom he used to have, you know.
Scott, as he said, it shouldn't have happened on stage.
It should not have happened on stage.
Truly, if he felt that he had been wronged, he should have spoke with him afterwards. That's what a gentleman would do.
Definitely.
That was a setting. This was not some nightclub on the side of the road.
Right.
This was a black tie event.
Yeah. I hate it happened. I wish they'd just let it die on down, though, and just take care of it if they need to, whatever they need to do. You know.
Richard made a good point of those children dying in Ukraine, and the world is worried about Will Smith. It's everywhere. And that brings to this next headline of what we're looking at. As Ukraine, have you seen all of this where they found roughly a little over 400 people that were murdered in Ukraine? Their hands tied behind their back, executed, raped, done all kinds of way by Russia. Now, worldwide, there is a probe that is going to go into this for war crimes. Now, it doesn't take rocket scientists to figure out that this could very easily escalate past this thing that's going on to Ukraine to where it could become a worldwide problem. And you know what I mean by worldwide problem. This could escalate quickly into something bigger. I've heard a lot of people talking about this, that this could be the stem that goes out from all this. You cannot have people murdering innocent people like that. That cannot happen.
I read a little bit more on that about people being starved to an extent.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Now, I also saw where the people of Ukraine, did you see where they poisoned a few of the Russian soldiers?
No, I didn't.
2 have died, others are sick. About 28 of them are sick. They hid it in potatoes and offered it to them. Does it make it right? As you look at what they were doing, there'll be some controversy over that. Now,
it's just awful.
The next thing in America that everybody is seeing is this Disney thing. Now, the Daily Wire, whether you watch that, is very conservative. It's a website that is conservative. Some don't agree with their thoughts. You saw where the owners of that had 2 advertisers canceled because of their beliefs. And so it made them start a razor company because of they're going to start their own.
Yeah.
Now, in the wake of what's going on with the Disney situation, where Disney was made upon family values in the beginning. Walt Disney, I think, was a great guy.
Yeah, everything.
Now we're seeing this happen here, and it's everything but family.
Right.
It's about the left's rights and all of this, and you go there
shoving it down your throat, like, you know, even if you don't agree with it. I mean, it's gotten to the point to where you can't just freely sit your child down to watch a Disney movie without wondering what they're going to be subject to. You know, you really can't. You'd have to completely watch it all the way through yourself and it did not used to be that way.
No. And the Daily Wire now is going to start their own children's network that has the family values. So look for that. Google this, because I'm not going to explain it here. But Angie, this was 10, 15, no, it's been longer than that because the kids are getting older, maybe 18 years ago. We took the kids to Disney, and you walk in, they said, it's Pearl Day. I don't know what that meant until I got home and Googled it, and I thought, oh my gosh, Google that. That's just some of the things that they do there now, and all these different theme parks. And you just, you wonder where America's thinking has gone to.
Right.
You go back and you look at Disney, if you don't follow their line, if you're an actor and you don't realize what all Disney owns, movies, TV shows, and if you speak out against them, they'll cancel you. You're fired. Yeah. Ask Roseanne Barr. She was one of those that got it. A girl named China Carano, if I pronounced her right. Canario, did I pronounce that right?
I think Carano.
Carano, she's one of the ones. Also, a guy named Chris Harrison, gone. But you have to think like them or your career is over. We'll learn more about this in upcoming days. Will America still support them as they're making a stand on this thing with DeSantis, a big stand on this of the rights of what's taught in school?
Well, I know the other day I was listening to a teacher and from somewhere else, I guess, and she was talking about how was she, I guess they are not able, or they're not they can't tell the kids like about their lives now or something. She was complaining about that. I guess she was in the LGBT community, and she's like, what am I supposed to tell my kids now when it's the beginning of school? I can't tell them about my partner. I can't tell them about my life. I can't tell them about my friends. To me, I mean, when I was in school, we went to school and we learned. We didn't hear about personal information about anybody's life. I mean, no. I really didn't think.
The teacher was the teacher.
Right. The teacher was your teacher. You respected your teacher. And, that was it. I mean, you didn't hear about all this stuff. And I don't really think it's a place in today's, world. You don't have to give all that information.
We'll see where this leads.
But they're giving that and more in some instances, I've not had to deal with anything like that. I think my kids have had wonderful teachers, and appreciate them very much. But I guess in other areas, and stuff,
it's a little different.
It is different. So I don't know.
I see Joy Suttle watching us from Carthage this morning. How are you? Glad to see you there. Bill says that one of his last was The Fox and the Hound. That was good. Mm-hmm. And what was the one, the Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah.
Boy, was that not a great one there?
Yeah, that was. I always watched. My kids watched other stuff like Blue's Clues, and I don't even know if that was Disney stuff, but just little stuff where you learn morals.
But we're
at the
seeing
end of it,
a lot of movies are going back and being remade now to include other thoughts.
Right.
We'll watch it. Here's one for you as we look across America of you have to take your cowboy hat off sometimes, just scratch your head and go, did they just really say that? We go to Chicago. Now, Chicago, the mayor is Lori Lightfoot, who is very left-leaning. God bless her. She has her right to choose how she votes, what she thinks. Right. But a guy that she appointed as in the police department, head of the film department, which takes care of what they release to the public, was attacked this week and his car stolen. Beat him up bad. He had to go to the emergency room. And she feels that carjackers are doing this because they feel unloved. Now, y'all heard me right. That is her comments on carjacking. What are we supposed to do? Hug them as they steal your stuff?
Right.
A crime is a crime is a crime. You go to jail if you do wrong. You should not be allowed to go with the rest of the people that are law-abiding.
Maybe if Lori Lightfoot got rid of all her security guards that are considered, I guess, the police she wants to defund.
No, it is the police.
Get rid of your security guards, walk amongst everybody else, and have a crime committed against you, and then go give them a little love because they're unloved.
70 cops around her that are on detail with her, but they got beaten up. Now we all know that's just bad news, but that's coming out of Chicago this morning. That makes you think, oh boy. Let's see here. I mentioned this also. Pizza is gas prices and everything else is affected by gas. Right. A piece of pizza costs you $2. I've never ridden a subway in New York. I've never been there, but it costs $2.50 to ride the subway. Mm-hmm. Now a piece of pizza is $3.14 on a street corner from that guy. Actually, I figure that's pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. $3.14 for a slice of pizza.
Go to a Braves game, see what a Coca cost you. Woo.
Goodness. Yeah, all those places that you go, theme parks or anything, everything's so much more expensive.
You're a captive audience and you have no choice.
You can't bring stuff in. You got to buy our stuff. You'll be broke when you leave.
You will be. That's downright expensive. Hey, did you see this yesterday where Joe got confused again? It happens a lot there, as he told us that Jill was the vice president of the United States for 8 years there.
Jill might be the president right now. We don't know.
It's just shocking there of just how easily he gets confused.
Yeah.
He did that it was a blunder at a Navy commission for a nuclear submarine.
But you got to wonder if this stuff that he's saying is not really stuff that's happening, that he's not supposed to say, but he's saying it anyway, by accident.
Well, we'd say it's by accident, but it's all a plan. We know that he will be asked to step down. Yeah. We all know that's coming. That's been the plan from the beginning. Yeah. And it is now, as information starts to come out, it makes it look bad to where they can do this publicly and go, Joe had to step down. He wasn't feeling well. It's a setup from the beginning. They needed him in there. He's never made a decision whatsoever. He reads the cue cards. We all know that. But they're getting ready to take their own down. You'll see that within the next year.
Throw them to the wolves.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, they will. They'll throw them to the wolves.
Whew, have mercy there. And they tell us this morning, I think everybody knew this, but Trump would beat him by 6 points and beat Kamala by 11 points if the election was held on this date. Some say he's already done that. But that's what the polls show today. As NBC and a few others, they're not so much on CNN, places like that, are trying to hold off and say that the midterm elections are not going to sway. Most everybody in America sees that there's a change coming.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I hope.
You can't judge it until it happens. November the 6th, make sure you vote. It's a small step in Mississippi, but our vote does count locally, and that leads to higher elections.
Well,
Still vote.
You see so many people say, oh, I'm so sick of this, I'm sick of this. Come election time, they never go vote. You got to get out and vote.
How many do we have?
How sick are you of it? Excuse me. Because it's going to continue if you don't.
Well, you take the mayor election in Meridian, Mississippi. What was it? And I don't have the figure in front of me, but let's call it 6,000 went out and voted. They chose for everybody. 6,000 people chose. That's not near enough people. Yeah. I think we're roughly 40,000 in the city. More folks should vote. Y'all think on that. No matter where you are, what you do, vote. They only let you vote once, y'all.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't want you to get confused on that. Scotty Ray and Candace, welcome. We're so glad to have you a part of what's going on today, and welcome to our show.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're building it, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Mark your calendars for the Spring Extravaganza Show coming Saturday, April 23rd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a brand new location at the old Office Max building at Bonita Lake Circle. From boutique clothes, shoes and accessories, children's clothing, spring plants, jewelry, gift items. Come shop and have lunch with Jack's Sausage Dogs. The Spring Extravaganza Gift Show, Saturday, April the 23rd from 9 until 4 at the old Office Max building in Meridian. Call Becky at 601-480-1776.
What did Denise call it there on the comments there? Armchair critics? There's a lot of those in the United States.
Yeah.
I've always heard that term, don't complain if you don't vote.
That's right.
You got every right if you go out and exercise your right as an American to vote. Now, am I one of those that I honestly, to this moment, don't understand the complaint of having to show your ID of who you are to vote. I do not get that.
Well, I think it's
if you have to show that to get your water turned on, why not to vote?
I think it has to do with the open border situation.
Has a lot.
I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it because a lot of these people won't have IDs, but they want them to go vote.
Yeah.
So
that's the shape of America. Well, let's go back. This was as we look at things that happened in history, and this is really interesting, and this really happened. I've read this many times. It was a few days before Abraham Lincoln was assassinated that he goes in and he goes, y'all, I had this dream last night. And he goes, I dreamed I was killed. And he described it almost to the T. It happened. It was on this date that he told his cabinet. And you can go back and read more about this. He saw the quarters on the eyes.
Oh, goodness.
He saw it, and then it happened. How weird is that? Is it premonitions? What do you call something to that?
Well, I guess it would be kind of like a premonition.
It was
what's to come.
10 days later, it would come to reality. But, there are people, and I think everybody knows this, that you say, I don't want them to dream about me. They dream somebody so-and-so passed away, and then they end up dead. And you go, don't dream about me. We've all heard about that.
I'll have, say like a star or something, like an actor, pop into my head, like just out of the blue. And I'll think, I didn't know they were, I wonder, and in no time, you read about them. It's weird. I have had that happen like many times. So.
Peggy Joyner, good morning. Glad to have you here. John Talbert, morning.
Yes.
Let's see here. Muddy Water, and you go, who is Muddy Water? He was born on this date. Eric Clapton, that was one of his heroes there. He would form some of his music. Muddy Water was born on this day. Mississippi boy, made it big. Big blues player. Look that up. 1964, what was the number one song in America? Well, it was none other than Buck Owens and My Heart Skips a Beat. Big song for Buck Owens. It would lead us to Hee Haw one day. Like that. Robert Downey Jr. He's been in a lot of movies, but I have to say he probably played Sherlock Holmes better than anybody that I've ever seen. That was good.
He's a very good actor. He's had some troubled stuff happen in his life, but it's turned out, to the good, I guess.
Yeah, and for the life of me, I can't think of the other movies that he's been in, but he's been in a bunch there.
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man. How could I forget that? Winfred Cole, watching us from Columbia, Mississippi. Glad you joined us. Glad to see you there. So many folks do. It was on this date that this would go down forever in history. We would find out in 1968, this was before I was born, that Martin Luther King was assassinated on this date. As we go back and look at history of what happened, it would shape the earth, the world. It would be James Brown that calmed the crowds in several cities that kept it from rioting. He kept peace within our nation. That could have turned out a lot worse. You have to give kudos where there was. Right. James Brown calmed folks.
I can't help but think how disappointed he would be in some of the stuff going on today.
That's a lot
I'm
of that.
sorry. I don't think he would have approved of it.
1971. This guy came to Meridian umpteen dozen years ago. Clay Davison, who remembers that? Unconditional was his big song. Don't Lie to Me was one of those. Clay Davison, a great singer, but one of those that you couldn't identify in a lineup now. You could almost call him a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. But look that up. Google that. That was a very good. Also, I watched him in, what was that? About
Batman.
The jousting. Yeah, he was in Batman. And
he was a Joker
Knight.
in Batman.
A Knight's Tale. That's the movie I'm trying to think of. And then he had also been in that movie I never watched. But Heath Ledger was born on this date. Good actor.
Yeah. And he had passed away from, I don't know if it was a accidental overdose of something maybe that he had taken. I don't know.
Yeah, they found him in a motel or his apartment.
And he had a young child at the time, but he was a very good actor also. So.
Sure was. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was a kid, and you could hear it on the radio. We've got Kenny Rogers, 1977. The number one song was Lucille in a barroom, Toledo. Who remembers that? You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. 4 hungry kids and a crop in the field.
Yeah. I remember that song well. Listening to it all the time. When
can't help but sing along with that one. But, of course, Kenny before that was what you would consider rock and roll. And then he finally, that was the song that turned him around and put him. Of course, Reuben James was there, but Lucille established him as a country artist.
Yes.
It was 2006 that Hank Jr. surrendered to police. It was a bad situation. We would later find out that all charges would be dropped against Hank, but they'd put out a warrant for his arrest because a waitress claimed that, well, he got a little fresh with her and picked her up in a hotel in the lobby. Well, it turns out that that probably didn't happen like she claimed. Hank turned himself in. It was all cleared up later.
Yeah.
One of the best, Hank Williams Jr. Not to say Hank ain't been arrested before.
Goodness.
He's been cuffed over no-shows, if you'll go back and remember those songs. But didn't quite happen that way. It was 1974, and there's a typo before I throw this up, that Hank Aaron, and this is big, I mean, beyond big. Babe Ruth, known forever as one of the greatest there was, but it would be 1974 that Hank Aaron would pass that and have tie the record of Babe Ruth with home runs. Big deal.
Yeah.
The Babe. Of course, you know about the pointing, right?
Where he pointed to where it was going to go. Yeah.
That's a big name.
We have a little kid on one of the ball teams that used to do that.
Oh, did he?
He'll do that before he hits. So.
This guy, and I'm trying to think of his partner's name, but back in the 70s and 80s, this was a big deal. What they said would either make or break a movie. If they liked it and gave it a thumbs up, your movie would do great. If they said it was bad, it affected you at the box office. And for the life of me, and y'all know the answer to this, Roger...
Siskel and Ebert.
That's it?
Yep.
But he passed away in 2013. Boy, that's been 9 years.
And I would watch that. I mean, some people might think that was boring to watch.
A little corny.
But I like to see what they had to say about the movies. Sometimes I agreed with them. Sometimes I
could
didn't.
be a great critic.
Yeah.
No one wants to hire me for that, though.
I could be a critic on some things.
We may have to do this. 1987, I got this out of order. But who remembers the movie Mannequin? Anybody remember that?
Yes.
The number one song that came out of that is Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. That was the number one song back in 87, and that was by Starship. That was a cute movie.
Yeah, it was. She'd only come alive when he was just around by himself with her.
Yeah, in the storefront.
Yeah.
So, you didn't have a dream about that, did you?
No, I did not. I did not have a dream about it.
That's a few of the things that happened on history on this date, and I'm sure there's some others. If you know something that I missed, pass it along to us. Bill said Roger was a great guy. And he knew him for years. Get out of here.
Oh, okay. Bill knows everybody.
I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Bill has. And glad to have you part of the audience there. It's good that you knew so many people that we talk about. And it's so, you look at superstars and people that are in the movies, they're really people just like you and I. And they do have connections to other people. You'd be shocked how many famous people that right here in our community know that could make a phone call to somebody that is big and important in some other part of the world. It truly is.
Yeah,
even reach presidents.
It'd be neat to know.
Yeah, it would be. So
connections.
There are a lot of them in this world.
Yeah.
So something to think on there. As we begin our day, let's talk about our friends over at the Farm Supply. Lauderdale County Farm Supply, if you need it to work with, they're going to have it. And if you're working around the garden, the Lauderdale County Farm Supply invites you in. If you hadn't gotten your seed and stuff yet, come by. They got a whole selection there if you're looking for watermelons. As you hear these tractors plowing up fields right now, they're getting ready for these gardens. And if you're working on your flower beds, they got all of this, including tomato plants.
Yes.
Got to have it. Even if you just grow one or two tomatoes to be proud of. They even got Miracle Grow to make them a little bit bigger there for you.
I know. And look at these graphic T-shirts.
Yeah.
Really neat ones.
Cool shirts to wear fishing. They've got all of that, including new hats. A whole selection of this as you go through the store. Just about anything that you can think of, from Twisted X shoes to the work boot. A handy thing to have, including the rubber boots when it rains a lot, like tomorrow. You may need them. Down to getting yourself a new handle. How many times have you broken an axe handle and you need one? They've got all of that. You can get a new one if you want to. Taking care of your pets and candles and all of that great stuff, including skillets and, seed and feed for the horses and cattle. Even take care of your hogs. Sweet feed and more. Guns, ammo, you'll find it all at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151. Drop in and visit with them today. You'll be glad that you did.
Patrick Allen Companies services and repairs all brands of overhead doors, residential and commercial. Our service technicians are factory trained and have over 125 years of combined experiences. At Patrick Allen Companies, we are not interested in being the biggest, just the best. At Patrick Allen Companies, our philosophy is simple. We want to give you more than you expect. We are just 4 miles south of Meridian on Highway 145. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Big trucks, they're loud, intimidating, and they'll run over anything in their way. I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. We won over $1 billion for the injured because we don't settle for less. Call me today and let me help you get the money you deserve. One call, that's all.
Over the weekend, we had a passing of a star. This almost slid by me, but do y'all remember the mother on Seinfeld?
Yes.
She passed away at the age of 93 on Saturday.
Oh, goodness.
She was also the voice of Mrs. Potato Head from Toy Story, if you'll remember that. 93, a great age.
Now, this was George's mother, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. That happened over the weekend. Let's see a few other things that went on. We talked about that. Let's get into... this always worries you with the United States of who they let loose. And maybe I'll say this name right. Guantanamo Bay, did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm close.
Yeah.
I'm beating all around the bush if I'm not right.
No.
But they've released someone else from there. After 20 years, they were never tried. He was supposed to be the number one bomb maker. Anyone want to guess what he's going to go do now?
What?
I think he'll go back to making things. Might be a plot.
So they released him.
Yeah, scot-free. It's been a lot of that. Those people were put there for a reason. And hopefully we won't find out why again. As we look around, Mel Gibson, he got his interview cut short this weekend. He was on an interview with on Fox, and someone asked him about the Will Smith, and right before he could open his mouth, his PR person goes, nipped it in the bud.
I bet he was mad.
You know, I guess it is sometimes best just to not say anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can get you into hot water. Well, there you go.
Because I don't think he's very, he didn't hold back too much
No,
when he speaks.
Mel just gets right on out there. A Christian. He tells what he thinks. A lot of folks don't like him for what he says, but I like O'Mel. He's delivered a lot of great movies. As they find, have you seen all of this about the lady that went missing in Florida? She was 37 years old. She was the mom of a 4-year-old. She's been found dead in a shallow grave. They've arrested the ex-husband, again, innocent, but they've arrested him for questioning. We'll find out if there's more to this, if he has a connection to it.
It's awful.
Hate that.
Awful.
As we look on this, what about the Arkansas man? This was almost like that Steven Seagal movie, Above the Law. Wasn't that no, it was the next one, where he's in a coma for 4 or 5 years. It was Above the Law.
Okay.
That was the name of it, where he wakes up from a coma, and of course, after laying there for 4 years, he still knows all of his karate, and he's still in good shape. Go figure that. But this actually happened in real life. A guy was in a coma for 19 years. He was in a car wreck. He wakes up after 19 years, knew who he was. It happened in 2003. He has passed away right before his birthday at the age of 58. What a miracle that was.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, you wake up after 19 years, so much has changed probably. You're just, glad to be alive, I'm sure, but you have to adjust.
What was the movie Mel Gibson was in to where they were doing that test and they froze him more or less?
They cryo something, I think they call it.
And then he wakes up from the 40s from a war. It had a Rod Stewart song in it. I'll think of it in a minute.
I know what you're talking about because I saw the movie, but I can't.
The pilot, and he lands it at her house there, and they're both old. Anyway, it was good. But almost the same story.
He started aging really fast. Yeah.
It'll come to me here in a little bit there. As we look around, good morning there, Rachel. Glad to have you joining us there from Alabama. Glad you were there.
Good morning to Jerry Stokes, Virginia Stokes, Margie Lancaster. Hope y'all are all having a wonderful morning. It's a pretty day.
We see this a lot to where parents' divorces happen. They get in arguments, and then one or the other will go take a child from the other one and run. And that's how these Amber systems come about. A Florida mother done that. She ran with her 5-year-old daughter. She wrecked, ran off in a pond, and her 5-year-old daughter is dead now.
Awful.
She was trying to get away from the police. Poor child never had a chance.
That's horrible.
We got the answer. Virginia.
Forever Young. Forever Young. That's the name of the movie.
And the Rod Stewart song, Forever Young, goes with that. Well, I really like that show. It's amazing how a good movie will make you stick, and you'll watch it. No matter how many times it comes on, you'll end up watching it again. A bad movie you never forget. You don't go back for seconds on anything like that.
I was like that watching the Patsy Cline movie, Sweet Dreams. I could watch that over and over and over. So good.
Yeah, apparently you hadn't sat down in front of TBS and gotten Con Air nonstop for 2 weeks, and you can't walk away. Nicolas Cage, what's he going to do? Movies like that. It's always good to find that good movie. And you know what I saw this weekend? And I don't care who you are or what you do, it truly is a good movie. Dirty Dancing was on yesterday afternoon with Patrick Swayze. He just truly was a good actor, no matter what role he played, from Roadhouse, North and South. He was just good.
Yeah. You know, Jennifer Grey that was in that movie with him. She was the one that was Baby. That was Baby in the movie. She had that plastic surgery to it changed her looks.
You're trying to say she had a big nose?
Well, she did. I mean, she had a work done to her nose, and I thought she was. I thought it looked great after she had it done. I thought it did, but I read an article where it totally changed her look. Like, there were people who didn't recognize her anymore. And, like, the Dirty Dancing movie really made her a star pretty much. And then after she had that done, she looked unrecognizable to people. And so she was very upset.
I have not seen the picture.
She was very upset with the results. So I would have had it done because she wanted, I don't know.
Was she in other movies? I never saw her in anything past that.
Oh, she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off she was the sister. Do you remember that?
Okay. Which came first? Dirty Dancing or Ferris Bueller?
I think Dirty Dancing, but I might be wrong. But yeah, she was the sister in that kept trying to get him in trouble for skipping school.
He didn't like his sister to get you in that.
Yeah.
We go to Florida for our next story this morning here. And you wouldn't think this of a pastor, but it happened. He's been sentenced to life in prison. He claims that he hadn't done anything wrong, that he didn't do it. But proof proves otherwise. He's been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a 16-year-old. Dumped the body. They say they've got the proof. He's been sentenced to life in prison. He still claims he's innocent. A pastor now. So you back off a few years from that, he was younger then. He's 65 now. That's the headlines out of Florida now. Tiger King, Joe, we briefly mentioned this, but he's wanting to get remarried. Right up into prison with somebody new he has met. The love of his life is only a cell away.
Goodness.
Can you really get married to somebody while you're in prison? I mean, like a cellmate? Do they allow ceremony?
I don't know.
I'm asking for a friend because I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I know that I heard that they could get like some kind of plastic surgery. Did you know that?
In prison?
That's what I heard.
Boy. He's still in divorce from his husband yet, but he's trying to do that so he can marry his cellmate. Thought y'all might want to know in case you missed that breaking news there.
Serenade each other from cell to cell.
Yeah. Cling the can on that. Anyway, he's not getting out of prison no time soon. He wants out bad, but no one's going to pardon him.
Bless us to Free Joe.
Free Joe. I've only watched one episode. I have not seen that whole series. I hear it's addictive. I made it through about 3/4 of the first episode and something happened and I never went back. But a lot of people, as you were confined to your house and couldn't leave, watched all that.
I didn't either. I'm not a Tiger King fan.
We've got a couple sailors that were hurt over the weekend on the USS Louisiana. An explosion happened. They were doing some testing, and an explosion happened on board. They were testing the air systems. They're not seriously hurt, but they were taken in for medic. Hopefully everything will be fine, and our submarines will be fine, and nothing else happened with that. That's our hope. I'm glad the boys made it out all right. That's for sure. As we switch and talk about our friends over at Godwin, everybody's got a place that needs cleaned up. It happens over time, no matter who you are. Over a month or two, things can get dirty. Over a year, they're even worse. Godwin can come in and help with their soft washing and low pressure washing. And here's the difference. Before and after pictures that shows the true story. From your roof to how clean it looks now. Look at that. And of course, when you pull up to your carport, this stuff, what's it called? Mildew. It'll get on your concrete and make it look black. Spruce it up. Make it look all new again. They can do that for you in a little to no time at all. Come by and they'll give you a quote. They can get you on a regular setup to where you never have to look at it again. You don't have to worry about it.
That's right.
Driveways look new. 253. It does. 8262. Restore the look of your home. Sidewalks, whether it's brick or concrete, your steps, make it look great. They can do this. Fleet washing also available. From roofs to paint jobs, so it saves you money in the long run is what that does. Even out at Clarkdale, they've had them come visit and clean up the sign. Looks new again. You know, that can happen quickly there. Just old mildew. Turn them green. Looks great again. See them there. Before and after, the Godwin Group. Cleaning services right here in the Meridian area, 601-253-8262. They can come to you no matter where you're at. See them today. They'll help you there, a whole bunch there, and save you a lot of money.
As the days get warmer, the grass starts growing. Drop in and visit with Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 in Sicalina, where they've got a complete line of the #1 lawnmower in America, Skag. Whether you're a homeowner or a lawn care service, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower just for you. Plus, they carry Exmark tractors and any part that you may need for your existing tractor or lawnmower. Drop in and see Cole or Buttermilk today. Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, 601-626-8759. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike and Jake have years of experience of dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
I'm Rick from Meridian. My life changed forever on my way home from work one Friday night, but I was able to focus on getting healthy because I had Richard Schwartz fighting for me every day. He got me the money I needed to get my life back on track.
I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we head toward the top of the hour. Las Vegas, this is a really big deal, and they'll have to block off the streets in 2023. They've made a deal with Formula One. You've seen these races in other countries where they go through the cities. Mm-hmm. The Vegas Strip is going to be part of the Formula One. Beginning in 23, they've made a contract for 10 years. I want to say it's like $10 billion deal that's been done.
Goodness.
So racing is coming to Las Vegas. That'll bring more people to the city to watch, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Drop by and see your friend Rick at the Pawn Stars.
Mm-hmm. Have you been there?
Nope.
I haven't either.
I've never been to Las Vegas.
I've talked to people who've been in there, and they say that it's not as big as it looks.
Smaller building.
It's like really small, but it'd be neat to go in there.
It's kind of like those, what it says in your side view, objects appear are larger than they are.
Mm-hmm. People can make pictures. I mean, make things look a lot, like houses and stuff. You look at houses online.
Oh, yeah.
And you think the rooms are really big, and they're not.
Little bitty closet.
Yeah. Yep.
They do that. They can do amazing things with movies. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of your country artists, you'll think they're real tall until you meet them and you go,
I know.
You look nothing like I thought you did.
I met Tanya Tucker one time, and I'm 5'4", so I consider myself pretty short. She's shorter than me.
Is she?
Yes, she's shorter than me. So.
Oh, Tanya. Mm-hmm. But there's a Sammy on down there.
Sammy Kershaw?
Yeah. He's not a real tall fellow. And one of the one that caught me off guard, and a lot of folks may not remember him, Ken Mellons. A lot shorter, rub-a-dubbing in my tub. That guy, I can bring her back when I want to. They put him on platforms, and then they get on the ground with the cameras and shoot up at an angle, and it makes you look taller than you really are.
Oh, okay.
Just something to think of. You remember the Democrats that were removed from office? This was, what state was this in? Went to Pennsylvania last week. Were taken off a school board for things they shouldn't have done. They've had to put them back because the judge that took them off of the school board, because they didn't have anybody to fill the slots, and he said it would cause chaos if his ruling remained in effect. So they're reinstated. We'll see if there's going to be an election on that.
Goodness.
Pennsylvania. Place to watch. It's always been a decider when it comes to the presidential elections there.
Is that where the guy was saying that he was on there fussing at him, the parent? Do you remember that? I think he said I don't know what he was talking about. He was talking about they were going to, the parents were going to start replacing them on the school board.
No, I missed that whole speech.
Screaming at them, Okay.
Eddie White, Ricky Van is a little shorter than you would think. Good one. I've forgotten about old Ricky Van. There you go. And Bill said he's been to Las Vegas to the shop, and it was small. So if you ever get a chance to go there. Also, just we may have brought this up on Friday. I'm not sure. It broke sometime Friday. But you're going to have a new commentator on Fox News. We may have already said this. I'm not sure.
I think we did bring it up, but you can bring it up again.
Caitlyn?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce.
Will be a commentator on Fox News. That's coming to your television there if you're a big Fox News watcher there. I think we did as we go back and look around that. A medical student, we got just enough time to squeeze this in. This is where politics and things go wrong. A medical student hurt someone and admitted online that they done it trying to get a vein, missed it several times because the person they were doing didn't have the same political beliefs they did. People like that should not be allowed in that line on purpose. You should not be allowed in your line of work if you do things like that. If you're in especially a medical profession.
Yeah.
Shame, shame.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who shouldn't be in the positions they're in because they can't be neutral.
You got to be in everything in life.
I know we give our opinions on stuff. Everybody is entitled to an opinion.
Absolutely.
But when you have a job to make decisions about something, you need to be neutral.
Absolutely. I can agree to disagree with many people.
Even medical decisions like this. I mean, that's our medical jobs. So.
We'll see y'all back tomorrow morning beginning at 8. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Can't do it without you.
That's right. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: